Early life. Amy Tan was born in the United States when her parents immigrated from China. Her father, John, was an electrical engineer and a Baptist minister, and her mother, Daisy, had 3 daughters in China. When she was 15, her father and older brother died of brain tumors only 6 months apart, so her mother moved with her and her younger brother, John. She started to turn to drugs for a period of time. They were moving constantly, but once they were a part of the Joy Luck Club with other families as a way to cope with the idea of the American dream. Education. She attended Linfield College in Oregon in 1970 on an American Baptist scholarship. There she met Lou DiMattei, and they later got married, and still are together to this day. Then she attended San Jose City College, followed by San Jose State University, where she earned her BA and received a President's Scholar. She double majored in English and linguistics. In 1974, from UC Santa Cruz and San Jose State, she received her master's degree in linguistics and studied in the doctoral program at UC Berkeley. Later, she became a language developmental specialist, working with children who had disabilities in the public school system. Writing life. In 1985, Tan started to write in her free time. Around the age of 33, she began writing of nonfiction. The Joy Luck Club was published in 1989, and afterwards she began to win many awards. Life after writing. In 1999, her mother passed away to Alzheimer's disease, and shortly after, she lost her friend Faith Sale to cancer. She currently has her younger brother, Juan Tan, and her 2 half-sisters, Lu Jing Wang and Tina Jindo Eng, who both grew up in China. During the same year, she was infected with Lyme disease, but wasn't officially diagnosed until 2003. She has been able to maintain her health from the assistance from her husband, but her condition has advanced and she is dealing with epilepsy. She is living in California with her husband and their 4 Yorkies, Bubba, Lily, Bombo, and Bobo, and their Pomeranian poodle rescue, Tux. While Amy Tan was growing up, she was the first American Chinese of her family, and her mother was from China, so for Tan, she struggled with accomplishments that would please her mother, but she felt that she more often failed in those areas. She witnessed a great deal of disappointment when it came to what her mother talked about. Her mother was very open about her contemplations about suicide and moving back home to China. When her mother was younger, she witnessed Tan's grandmother kill herself, and since then, that had forever changed the way Tan's mother viewed life. Tan was often worried about what she said around her mother, as if walking on eggshells, because it seemed that she was so comfortable with the idea of death. Tan's collection of short stories and the Joy Luck Club was a way for Tan to put the chaos that surrounded her life into a format that she was able to understand and cope with the situations. As a result of Amy Tan's relationship with her mother and her other family members, it became the basis of many of the stories throughout the novel. This creates a more personal, almost autobiographical perspective that the reader has in the life that Amy Tan lived.
The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. This novel is a collection of short stories about 4 different mother-daughter relationships. It is a collection of the happiest and scariest moments in the lives of the mothers and daughters, encountering experiences they never thought they would go through. Through these experiences, they learn a lot about themselves through their toughest times. In the first 4 stories of the book, The mothers, speaking in turn, recall with clarity their own relationships with their mothers, and they worry that their daughters' recollections of them will never be as strong as their own. Throughout the novel, readers can see the differences between the American and Chinese cultures as well as the generational gap. Su Yin Wu. Su Yin is from Keilan and abandoned her twin daughters. She arrives in San Francisco with only her fancy silk dresses. She then dies of a cerebral aneurysm. What she wanted most for her daughter was for the Chinese culture to be a strong part of her life as much as it was for her. Jingman Wu. On one fateful evening, Jingming's mother sees a little girl pianist on the Ed Sullivan Show and arranges a way for Jingming to receive piano lessons. At the end of the novel, she flies to China with her father and she reconnects with her half-sisters. Since the passing of her mother, she works her hardest to uphold the values of a Chinese woman in honor of her mother.
Anne May Sue. During her childhood, Anne May's mother abandoned her family. When she did come back to check in, a fight broke out between her and the family. The arguing caused Anne May to bump into a bowl of steaming hot soup, causing it to fall on her, leaving a scar on her neck. The mom leaves for a second time, but only to return when the grandmother becomes sick. In order to honor her mother, she cuts off a piece of her flesh and puts it in the soup for her dying mom. When Anne May is older, she moves to San Francisco with her family. The family decides to take a trip to the beach where her youngest son, Bing, drowns in the ocean. After her son died, she placed a Bible underneath her coffee table containing her dead son's name. This represents the loss of her faith in God. Rose Sue. Rose marries an American named Ted despite her mother's disapproval of him. Throughout the relationship, Ted was the one to make all the decisions. Although he made all the decisions, she was okay with this and never protested because she always wanted him to be happy. Ted began to get tired of making all decisions in the relationship and ended up filing for a divorce. While they are battling over the custody of their personal items, Rose decides to speak up for what she wants and decides that she will be the one who keeps the house and finally gets it in the end.
Lindo Zhang. Lindo was forced into an arranged marriage at a young age. In Chinese tradition, a candle is lit during the wedding ceremony as a sign of a marriage bond. The candle was to be watched all night in order to make sure it would not blow out. If the candle were to blow out, it would be a sign that the marriage is broken. Linda watched her candle blow out, but did not say anything out of fear. In order to get out of her marriage, she makes a plan involving the pregnant maid who is in love with the mailman. Linda says that the maid is carrying her husband's child, making the maid the new wife, allowing her to become free. In her adult life, she moves to San Francisco and gets a job at the fortune cookie factory. She then marries her husband regardless of the fact that he is Cantonese. Waverly. All throughout her childhood, Waverly was a chess prodigy. She competed in chess competitions and won first place many times, winning lots of trophies along the way. Later on, she becomes engaged to Richard, but does not tell her mom in fear of her disapproval of him. At a dinner with her family, Richard tries to win her over, but fails to do so. Waverly and Richard end up getting married and become very successful in their lives. Although she was marrying an American, her mother did not want her Chinese culture to be forgotten. Ying Ying St. Clair. When Ying Ying was a little girl, her family went to Tai Lake to celebrate the arrival of the Moon Lady. The Moon Festival is a ceremony that will be the only moment where one can see the Moon Lady and have a secret wish fulfilled. While Ying Ying is on the boat, she accidentally falls off into the water. She becomes lost in the Thai lake and gets rescued and is brought back to shore. She finally gets the opportunity to say her wish and discovers that the Moon Lady is really a man. In her teenage years, she marries a man that is a lot older than her. As time continues, she finds out that he's been cheating on her while she is pregnant. As an act of revenge, she decides to kill her baby. Lena. When Lena was younger, her mother became pregnant once again. Although the mother did not say anything aloud to the family, the mother knew that the baby was already dead inside her. In order to cope with the drama of her family, she imagines that the mother and daughter next door are living a worse life than hers. Lena marries a man named Harold, and throughout their relationship, they split everything evenly. When Lena's mother came to visit, she accidentally broke a table in half. The breaking of the table is a metaphor for Lena and Harold's failed relationship that was doomed from the beginning.